Okay, well, hi guys. My name is Justin West, and I am a successful home-based business entrepreneur. I have been in the home-based business arena for the over the last 10 years, a little longer than that, in fact. Been very successful. I've actually been in started a number of companies. I now run a marketing company as well. And today I wanted to have a little talk about the two things you must have in order to succeed in any kind of a home-based business. Things that you absolutely have to have in order to be successful, to have a business that thrives and goes somewhere. I think the stats are most people in a home-based business, probably about 80-90%, wind up failing, right? They don't go anywhere, they don't make any money, they don't even make their initial investment back if there's an initial investment. And I think that's a real shame. And I think it's because a lot of people simply don't understand what it is that they need to be looking for in a home-based business. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. With me is Dr. Stanley Lang, a medical practitioner from DuBois, Pennsylvania. You'll see him down at the bottom, and I will have him talking to you here in a few minutes. I'm going to quickly go over what I think are the two big issues, and then we're going to kind of dive deeply into these issues. And the first one, I'll get right to it, is simply this. A lot of the products out there just aren't any good. And anyone can make that claim, talks of purity and this and that and everything else. But honestly, so many of those products that people are trying to sell, whether they make them themselves or whether they are using a company's product, whatever it happens to be, they're just not worth buying for a number of reasons, which we'll get into. And then the other reason is this. A lot of people start a business and they don't have any idea how to market it. They don't have any idea how to get their product in front of people or find people who want their product. And so they just sit there. Maybe they have a garage full of inventory. Maybe they don't have to have inventory physically, but they just don't make any sales. It doesn't go anywhere, and they become another statistic. Those are the two things that hold everyone back. Products that aren't good and not having a way to get your product in front of people, not having a consistent, steady flow of leads in order to grow your business. So let's talk about the first point first. And again, with me here is Dr. Stanley Lang. Dr. Lang, what do you think about the quality of products that are in a lot of home-based businesses today?
Well, Justin, I am familiar with a lot of these products because I actually have been integrating nutritional medicine into my practice for over 15 years. So I've investigated a lot of the different companies and the products that they sell. So what I've discovered is that most companies sell products that are not particularly unique and not particularly of high quality. In fact, they may be of no higher quality than what you could buy in one of the big box stores that we all know the names of. And there are occasionally, though, within different niches in the home-based business arena, companies that have superior products that are uniquely much higher quality than what you can find in the store, and sometimes they are uniquely structured in that it's completely different than anything you can find in the store, and it does things for the person that nothing that you could buy in a store will do for them. That kind of a product is particularly helpful when you're trying to promote something through a home-based business arena.
Okay, thank you for that. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of lag here on my end. You'll have to forgive me for that. So, I've seen a lot of products out there, and maybe we can talk on this a little bit further here, where there's just not even a market for the product, right? For instance, this is my joke example, but Solid Gold monkey grooming kits, right? Groom your monkey in style. Well, most people don't have a monkey. Most people are looking to groom a monkey, and most people don't want to groom their monkey with a Solid Gold monkey grooming apparatus, right? So if you start a company and there's just no demand, or if you have a product that somebody else is selling, you're an affiliate for, or an independent distributor or agent or whatever, and there's just no demand for the product, it's not going to go anywhere, right? And then, as you mentioned, the quality issue. Now, quality is a big deal because if you want to differentiate yourself from a lot of the products out there, you got to do it one of two ways: either innovate something completely new that nobody's ever thought of and be the first in the market, which obviously it's really hard to do that, or you have to have something that is of the utmost quality. That really brings something to the market that isn't there, even though the concept is already there. And I think that's kind of what you were talking about. Can you go a little further into what somebody should look for, or what sort of things are the hallmark of a high quality item that maybe passes what I call the Walmart test, right? So if it's an item that I can go get the exact same thing at Walmart for, I don't really have any reason to buy it from you when I can go get it cheaper right down the street. At my local CVS or Walgreens or whatever it happens to be. And in fact, I think a lot of people fall into that trap. So how do you determine quality in a product?
Well, the quality issue is actually a difficult thing to determine because everybody claims high quality. That's a pretty standard.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, who's going to say, well, we sell the best low quality product on the market?
The greatest budget quality items you can find.
So most people claim high quality, but when you pull back the curtain, it isn't there. And I know that because I've done that kind of investigating myself. I actually call different companies to see what their quality control is. So you either have access to somebody who is knowledgeable enough to be able to speak to quality, or else you have to just trust what the company is saying. Because otherwise, you don't, unless you're a scientist, it's pretty hard to figure out the published stuff about the product. But I can say that most products that are relatively inexpensive are generally low quality. That's a pretty common theme. The raw ingredients often originate outside of certainly outside of the United States, and often in places where quality control is not considered a value. So, one giveaway is that if it's real cheap, it probably is real cheap, and it probably doesn't have anything in it that's useful to you. There should be something that reads as if it has some kind of a plausible scientific basis to it. A lot of things sound like they are doing or claiming to do something that is impossible. And if it sounds like it's impossible, it probably is impossible. And so it should be plausible of what it does. And ideally, the proof is in the pudding, so to speak. So if you can feel a difference or see a difference, then that's really the most strong evidence that it's a high quality product in terms of having the necessary ingredients to accomplish the goal that you're seeking, whether it's to feel better or look better. Usually these kind of products that we're talking about are either consumed or put on the body in some way. So the other question then is, are there any contaminants in that product that aren't good for you? Again, that comes back to a lot of times country of origin. Where is this stuff made? Where do the raw ingredients come from? Those are the sort of things you can figure out. You can start to understand by just asking a few questions. Most high-quality products are going to come from places where you can sort of track where the raw ingredients came from and how careful the company is in assembling that product.
Okay. Yeah, something I've seen with a lot of products, and going back to the Walmart test, right? If it's something that I feel like I can get the exact same quality or better at my local Walmart, and it won't cost me 2 to 3 times as much, that's where I'm going to go every single time. And in a lot of home-based businesses, I see them being built around these sorts of products. I think it's a very shaky foundation in order on which to build a business, right? I do know of a product, and I'm not going to tip my cards right now, but I know of a product that has a 90% reorder rate. So the people who buy it love it and use it, and they're not in the company or anything like that. They just happen to like it. And that's what I look for when I think of a product that's going to be a really, really successful product and be the foundation of a really successful business, right? If you can get customers who aren't customers just because they're also in the business, right? But people who actually want to use your product because they see an instant difference. That's what you were just saying, right? There's a real immediate gratification, an immediate sense of wow, this stuff is really working, or this product is really doing what they said it was going to do. That's huge. So, what would you say is a good kind of product that would fit this sort of a mold that could be sold in a way that would compete with all the big box stores out there?
Well, usually you were talking about something that you put on your skin in some way, because the skin is a very sensitive, the most sensitive of sense organs in many ways. Taste obviously is a big thing too, but how things feel on the skin is a big indicator of whether this is going to be a product that has any legs under it, that's going to work in a home-based environment. Because if it feels really good or does something to the skin that you can see, or both, that's something that has a wow effect. And so I think that something that you put on the body is usually the most effective product to have in a home-based business setting. And in fact, the beauty industry and skincare industry is huge. I'm not going to go into relative statistics, but it is huge. Everybody knows that. And that's because people increasingly want to look younger, and they definitely want to feel younger. So something like that you can put on the skin, you see a difference, you feel a difference, I think that's going to be the most effective in terms of a home-based business. Things that make you feel better inside, of course, nutritional products where you can definitely feel a difference, clearly those are important too. But most of the time, unless they have illegal ingredients, you don't feel something right away when you take something by mouth. You may feel something within a month, and that's fantastic, but it's not the same thing as feeling something within 2 minutes after you put it on your skin and seeing the difference. That's got much more of the wow effect, I guess, and would be the leading contender for a product that really is the easiest to sell, so to speak, from a home-based business.
All right. I absolutely agree with everything that you said, and I think that you hit on some really powerful points. Again, one of my favorites, honestly, is just it needs to be a consumable product too, right? If you're selling those called monkey grooming kits or whatever it happens to be, maybe you're selling water filtration units, right? When you sell a water filtration unit to a house, maybe it's a big sale, maybe you make a lot of money, but you got to go out and chase another sale or you're not going to get paid. But if it's now the smart thing with water, we're not talking about water today necessarily, but I think the really smart thing would be if you could sell the filters, right? Because people always need to keep using the filters if they're going to keep using the water. That's what Brita does, and Pure, and all of these other companies out there that sell water filters. So you want to be in the consumable market. I think you're absolutely right there. And I like how you point out the skincare, especially. There's the oft-cited baby boomers, which are a huge chunk of the market. But even when that chunk is gone, people will still be getting old. Pretty much until the end, people will be getting old, and people will want to look younger. It's a perennial market. It's a market that isn't going to go away anytime soon. And anytime you can find a market like that where you can carve out a niche, and your niche doesn't have to be big, right? Your niche can be a small chunk of that market, and that can be enough to, fund you and your family for whatever it is you want from here to whenever, right? So absolutely. I completely agree, and I think that was really good stuff. Do you have anything else about the quality of a product that you'd like to talk about, or should we move on to the other?
Yeah, I think that one other thing I'd say is that the quality is crucial, but it has to be a product that people want, as you sort of alluded to. But even if it's a consumable product, if it's not what people want, even if it's the highest quality of whatever it is, it doesn't matter. For instance, you might sell the best record player in the world, but not too many people are buying record players anymore, except for record collectors. And so high quality alone doesn't make it. It's the necessary first step for an impeccable business, and one that has the legs to run the long distance, where you're not going to have quality complaints down the road that are undermining your business. But it
So you're
has to be
saying I
something
should sell my 8-track company? Is that what you're
that
saying?
you should sell that. Yep. I would get rid of it right now. So, so, so something that people are actually wanting, which you've kind of alluded to, generally things that make the skin feel good and look good, or make the body feel good and look younger or feel younger. These are the things that are the easiest to promote from the home business arena, that are also, as you say, consumable. In other words, somebody is going to need to buy it again, which
Yeah.
is, having a return customer is the best kind of customer to have, rather than always looking for new customers.
Yeah. Well, and it's psychologically compelling. I mean, that's I think exactly what you're touching on here. Um, it's Pavlovian conditioning, right? Every time you use the product, you literally feel great within moments, right? It's instant. You don't have to wait 3 months or a month or whatever. It's boom, use the product. I feel amazing, and then you want to keep that up, right? As long as using the product continues to make you feel good, you want to keep using it. So absolutely, and it gives you that desired goal. Well, it makes you feel better about yourself, which is one of those basic human desires. Is we want to feel better about ourselves. That's why we exercise and diet and lose weight. We want to feel better inside, certainly, but we also want to feel better about how people perceive us. And so anything that fits those criteria, that's consumable, that has instant impact, that has long-term psychological impact in a good way. Not tricking people, not addicting people, but just it's the type of thing that is very enthralling, right?
Right.
Those are the type of products that make for a really strong backbone for a business, and I think that's exactly what you're saying. Is that right?
That's correct. Right.
All right, so let's say I've got one of these products. Now what, right? That's the second question I think most people wind up running into is, now that I've got this product, what am I going to do? I know that you've known a lot of people who've been in various home-based businesses, network marketing businesses, whatever you want to call them, and they've started businesses on their own from home as well. What have you seen when it comes to getting a product out there, even if it's a really good product? What are some of the struggles that you think people face?
I'm sorry, what was the last question you asked?
What are some of the struggles that you think people face when it comes to getting their product out there, getting it found, and making those sales and making the business run?
Well, I think that most people who are dealing with a business that they're starting from home, they want to be able to share it with friends and family, but they often feel a little embarrassed to approach them because they don't want them to feel like they're pressuring them, and they don't feel excited enough about their product to even approach their friends and family. And so that's a real obstacle if you don't feel positive enough about what you've got to even share a sample with somebody. So that's a real obstacle. And then inevitably, even if you do share your product with friends and family, if you want to grow the business into a business that can provide significant income, you're going to need to share it with people beyond your friends and family. Just like, if you had a McDonald's franchise and the only people that you sold your hamburgers to were your friends and family, it's a pretty good franchise. It's a pretty good franchise, but you're going to go broke. You're going to need some other customers. And so finding that next level of customers, where do they come from, and especially customers who just want to use the product. They don't necessarily want to do anything in the business. They want the product. They want the product for what it is. How do you find those customers? That's really the biggest obstacle that people have to building any kind of a home-based business. It is the obstacle, because in fact, most companies that do get started really do believe they've got good products. I don't think a lot of them do, but from their hearts they think they do, at least. So their intentions are good, but what they don't have is a way to get customers as a person starts to develop a business that they feel good about or that they can afford to do. So they run out of customers before they build enough income to generate a livable income or even a part-time income. So that's really the big deal. First of all, do I feel good about really sharing this with friends and family, or do I feel embarrassed? If I feel embarrassed, then that means I got to find customers outside of my friends and family, and that's really hard to start a business that way. Not impossible. People have done it, but it's hard. But most people that do that have to be really good salesmen or sales ladies, and most folks aren't. So we've heard the saying that the product needs to sell itself, or the product does sell itself. Well, usually it does if a person has enough exposure to it, but still you got to get it in front of the right person. How do you do that? That's the problem. So
Absolutely.
I know we talked a little bit about this already, so if you don't mind, I'll ask you.
Oh, the tables have turned. Okay.
Yes. What model have you seen recently that you're excited about, that you'd like to talk about, that provides a solution to that second issue?
Okay.
What would be the best way that could happen? You know, you're trying to start a home-based business, and you wish that you had access to customers that want what you've got. What would that look like to you?
Well, it would of course start with a product that's really good that people really want.
Good plan.
That people reorder often. I mentioned earlier, I know of a product that has a 90% reorder rate, and it's actually the product that I'm sort of representing today on this webinar. I'll tip my hand just a little bit further so you can see that, right? So I want a business that had a product like that had a 90% reorder rate, that had people who wanted to use it, that met that psychological need, right? And then I would want it also to be the type of product, or to be the type of business where I don't have to necessarily go out and drum up leads. In fact, it's the type of business that people are so actively searching for that the company can give me free leads. People who want to use the product. People who, again, 9 out of 10 who use the product want to order the product. And if I could get a company that would offer me an unlimited number of leads of people who want to try the product, and all I gotta do is send them a little sample of the product, and 90% of them want to reorder if I follow up with them, that I think is an incredibly powerful foundation for any business, because that's a business that builds customers, right? Customers that are intrinsic to you, that stay with you for a long time. They stick, right? They reorder again and again. They love the product, and they start sharing it with their friends and family, right? So Sally says, "Hey, Joan, you got to try this product," and Joan tries and says, "Wow, that's amazing. Where do I get it?" And they say, "Well, let me show you," and they lead them back to your website, or they give you a phone call, or whatever it happens to be. Those are the type of things that I would want to see in a business, and that's in fact exactly the type of business that we're in the process of structuring right now, which is really kind of cool. We have launched this product, and we have thousands of leads coming in all the time of people who want to try the product. And so we're going to make an interesting offer here. And the offer is this. We're looking for a handful of people who really want a ground floor opportunity with a product that meets all these requirements. There's not a lot of support, but what we want to see is a number of little, I guess we call them mini teams, right, or mini support groups. So if you're interested, what we want you to do is to find a couple other people who would be interested as well in getting free leads so that they can simply just send little samples of the product to people and close them into customers. And once you can bring in 2 people who want to be a member of your team, basically you get all those leads and you can share them with your team members, and they can do the exact same thing as well, and you can build a giant foundation of a business that is utterly customer driven, riding on the back of a product that is very successful. Instantly people see that it works. It fills those psychological barriers. It's high quality, provable high quality. It's got science behind it. It's got doctors behind it and everything else. Those would be the things that I would suggest one looks for in a business, and that is exactly what I am offering today if you want to partner with me. I'm going to flash up on the screen here in the replay. I can't do it right now, but basically If you're interested and you want to know just what it is I'm talking about, what is this product? How does it work? I want you to text the word gel. That's GEL, gel, to 58885 from your smartphone. Text gel, GEL, to 58885. That's 58885. And a couple minutes later, you'll get an email or you'll get a text message that'll give you a video you can watch. And it'll show you in 2 minutes a product that meets all these requirements and exactly what it is that we are doing. So that's to the viewers, of course. Although Dr. Lang, you're welcome to text as well. Does that sort of answer your question?
Well, it does, but if you don't mind if I ask a couple more follow-up questions. Are you saying
back in.
Are you saying that that this particular company is providing free leads right now to people that are doing the business?
They are if they join with us in this company, yes.
So
And
our
they meet these
particular
criteria.
team has some. Your particular team has some unique benefits.
That's right. Right now, this is not an offer that anybody else can even get a hold of. If you want a shot at a company that builds itself, literally builds itself, basically you need to get a hold of us and start working with us. We're not going to keep this open very long. In fact, we're going to have it shut down probably in the next couple of weeks, depending on the response rates that we get. We may periodically open it back up again, but there's no other company out there that I've ever seen that does this. I've actually personally been involved in, I think, 3 or 4 network marketing companies. I've never seen a company that gives you leads of people who want to buy that have a 90% reorder rate. There is just nothing else like that. There's nothing on the market like that.
Why is it that you're asking somebody that might be interested in this to find a couple of people locally to work with? Why not just give them the free leads?
Well, a number of reasons. A, it shows they're serious, right? Anybody can say, hey, give me free leads. And the leads are free, but they're not free. Right? There's a cost to generating leads. And I don't want to take something that costs $1,000 to generate and give it to somebody to have them sit there and do nothing, right? I want to see some real dedication. But also, again, it makes for a support group, right? If it's just you all by yourself, it can feel very daunting to start any business. Doesn't matter what you're selling, whether it's your own business. Even I've known people who started restaurants that are embarrassed to tell people they run a restaurant because they just don't want to ever beg for business, right? And so by having a team of just 2 other people, you all of a sudden have 3 people that it's yourself and these 2 other people, and you're getting these leads, and you can help them grow their business, and they can see success, and you can see success, and then they can duplicate exactly what you did as well. They can bring on a couple more people, and they can get leads as well. And so you can start focusing your leads with your other teammates, or keeping them for yourself, or whatever it happens to be. Basically, we have more leads than we can handle. We just literally don't have the manpower. And so for a handful of people who really see the opportunity here, we have one heck of an opportunity.
So if somebody who is looking at this decides that they would really like to work with you, Justin, are you saying that people who become part of their team will also be able to receive leads, people that really want the samples of the products? They've reached out and they've asked for samples. Anybody in that person's team is going to have access to this benefit?
For the time being, yes. For as long as we can keep it open, yes. We want to grow this as quickly as possible, and we haven't even turned on all of the lead faucets yet. As far as I understand, we've got a drip coming through right now. We haven't even turned the faucet on yet. So the sky right now is the limit. And so if you join with us, or if you wind up joining in our downline, as far as it goes right now, yes, that is correct.
Okay. Well, I like how you talked about the people working together as a team, and I've done a lot of different things over the course of my life. It's always easier to do it when you don't feel like you're doing it by yourself. Even if it's something that's doable, it still feels a little bit feels a little bit lonely when you're doing it by yourself. So I like the team idea.
Absolutely. And again, I don't like it's a silly corporate buzzword, synergy, right? But there really is a real energy that becomes greater than the amount of energy that any one person is putting into it when you get a group of people together who are like-minded and supporting each other and having fun. Maybe it's a couple of guys, maybe it's, a girl in her book club house, whatever it happens to be. There's a real, maybe it's a family, right? Maybe brother gets in and says to his siblings, "Hey, you guys, look at this. Let's start the family business. I've never seen an opportunity like this," and all of a sudden they're all dedicated to working towards a goal together. They're all supporting each other, and supporting each other in basically the easiest thing in the world, which is giving out these samples and closing these customers and keeping them happy, just by using the product. We take care of, the company takes care of all of that stuff, right? They take care of the product and the product control and everything else. You don't have to worry about anything other than simply following the system, getting free leads, and growing your business.
Well, thanks for the clarification, Justin. It looks like you've got a winner on your hands.
I think so. I'm actually really excited about it. There's been very, very few things in the last 15 years of marketing that I've been this excited about. I can count them on one hand, and I've actually been a part of almost all of them. So, absolutely, I'll just state one more time. If you're interested in working on our team, the first step is simply text GEL, GEL, to 58885. That's 58885 from your mobile phone. And right after that, you'll get a text message. It'll actually ask you if it's okay if we text you, and you'll just have to say yes or I agree or whatever. And then we'll send you some information. We'll send you a video so you can see the product in action and why people are so absolutely crazy about it. You can see their reactions when they use it, and in the first 2 minutes, right? That's huge. And then you'll get a chance to follow up and set a time to work with me or someone who is a part of my team. We'll call you and talk with you, or we can exchange emails if that works better for you at the beginning. We don't want to, there's no high pressure sales because we don't have to force anyone into this. This is the type of offer that is going to close itself for most people. But text GEL to 58885, and afterwards you'll set up a time to meet with us. We'll talk about the opportunity a little bit further, make sure you understand it, and if you're ready to go, we'll give you everything you need to hit the floor, hit the ground running. So that's the gist of the offer.
Well, nice to talk with you, Justin.
Yes.
Thanks for inviting me to comment on quality control. I enjoyed that.
Thank you very much. Again, I've been talking with Dr. Stanley Lang, a medical practitioner. He's been practicing family medicine for the last 30 years. I called him today because I know that he's got a real a knack for businesses in general, as well as he's got a real care for quality control, high quality products, things that fix a problem. They're not just Band-Aids. So Stan, thank you very much for being with me today on this little hangout. And
you're welcome.
Maybe we can have a follow-up in the future.
That would be good.
Alrighty. Well, this is Justin West on behalf of Dr. Stanley Lang signing off. Thank you guys for watching. And again, if you have any questions, you want to learn more, simply text GEL to 58885. Good night.